Hey everybody, welcome to Snow Talk. Way Through News meteorologist Brian Good here. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm in with you guys tomorrow morning and Saturday morning as well. So you'll get more Snow Talks here to update you on a very active pattern down the road. One thing we are noting about the short term to get you through this holiday weekend especially. A lot of cloud cover, patchy areas of drizzle. Notice the wind now is northwest. We've been monitoring that because the wind arrows for the morning were southwest when I got here. Then they went west. And now they're turning more northwest, and that is allowing for a drop in the temperatures. The 40s, you'll see a wave of 40s working their way in from the northwest, moving into Kentucky. So we may still drop even another couple degrees before we try to rebound later this afternoon back to where we started. Our high already today, I believe, is already 55, 56, and that was around midnight. But we may get back up there again later today. All right, so weather view does show that we're not alone. Everybody else's the cloud cover is stretched out all over the Ohio Valley. In fact, now it doesn't mean it can't thin out in places and give us a few rays of sun. That is possible, especially west of 65, but don't bet on a lot of it. It's just a possibility. Even tomorrow it's going to be tough because we have another system that's going to dive in. It's going to skim across the Ohio Valley on Friday. It'll be just enough to give us a renewed chance for more cloud cover, and it'll, as it passes by, we'll feel the down effect of that on Saturday. Temperatures get shaved off a few degrees, but the sun will be back out, which is good news. And then we get into the dynamic mess that is coming our way. That leads us into the snowboard. I do have 2 dates listed here for systems, like I alluded to yesterday, systems that end as rain or snow, a mix of both. First one would be Wednesday, and the next one would be the 6th of December. And there could be one right after that. But no all snow systems or anything like that showing up. Let me explain what we are facing as we head into December. We're starting to get more and more of a clarity to how this is going to evolve, and it's not been easy. First off, the system is going to arrive next week. We will get, this low is actually way up here across the Midwest. We have 2 areas of low pressure. Let me back this map up if it'll let me. And there we go. Okay, let me try this again. There we go. Ah, man, I meant to hit stop point on it. Anyway, there's 2 waves. They're going to dive in. One from the north and one moving across Texas. The 2 don't phase together as one system, but they both impact this about 24 hours apart. The first one here, which is the low across Minnesota, is going to provide a lift of moisture here as we head into Monday, early Monday. Not widespread heavy rain, just batches of showers. Then we get the southern one that's going to start to pull in. We feel the effects of that as we head into Tuesday. The trend on this, it's the 1-2 punch, is to slow the second piece down just a bit. Because of that, we have a good chance to go 65 to 70. Even slower than what is product here, could very well cross 70. We'll stop at 60s for now. But windy, and then showers and thunderstorms then break out ahead of that. All right. And yes, the potential is there for some gusty thunderstorms, but again, instability is key on this kind of scenario. Mainly a lot of heavy rain. Worry about the thunderstorm potential as far as severity when we get much closer. Can't do it yet, but at least we know that we have the wind energy certainly with us, and we have a lot of moisture coming away. Then as it passes by, we get on the colder side, and that's when we talk about the idea of a bit of moisture allowing for, a mix. But as you can tell, the deep moisture, the one that really would count for a lot of you snow fans, it's out of here. And then we do it again, just a few days later, toward the first weekend here of December. Same kind of setup, almost the same path. Low pressure moves by, showers, maybe heavy rain, maybe some thunderstorms. Then on the backside, maybe some snow showers, something like that. The problem we have, you're looking at the northern hemisphere now, looking straight down the North Pole. Hello, Santa. You are seeing the core of the polar vortex, basically, that's been impacting since the early fall Siberia. A good chunk of Eurasia in general has been dealing with cold and a lot of snow. It's not even on our side of the hemisphere. So we are getting cold shots, but we're getting the stale cold out of Canada. And in many cases, it's only taking us down to at or below normal just by a smidge, nothing dramatic. But the real brutal stuff is still over here. And the long-term outlook is that will likely continue through at least the second week of December. It will remain over there. So these cold shots that come into play, they're just enough that, don't get me wrong, you don't have to have this frigid Arctic air to get a winter storm that is crazy wild. All you need is just cold enough to support snow. And that can vary from as warm as 40 degrees to as cold as, well, teens and so forth. But at least gives us an idea of what we're dealing with as far as the source region of this, preventing a lot of Arctic outbreaks to infiltrate the lower 48. But you do notice that still that ridging holding on tough here across the southeast corner of the country. In fact, when you look at the indices, this is the other problem. Here is the NAO negative. Shows a blocking pattern in place. We've noticed that for a while. That's a good sign for us usually. APL going negative into December. Good sign for us to get wintry. PNA being negative, not a good sign for us. That tells us that there's more troughiness in the western half of the United States that is still to come. And that makes it a challenge to get the eastern United States to get that dominance of cold air to lock in for a long period of time. This is the jet stream upper winds for later in the period. I believe this is the one for next week that I have up here. I can't remember the order I put these in now. But anyway, the jet coming in across the Pacific Northwest, that's a problem because you're getting the systems that are moving out of Texas, these southeast trackers that we've got the next couple of weeks, and you get snow on the northern side of that, heavy rain a lot. This is good for the drought. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this is great news for those that are suffering from the drought. This could very well, I don't know if it'll end the drought for areas to the south of us. It likely will for Kentucky, but it will put a big dent in it, and that's some good news. But it's still active on the western seaboard here, and it just shows you. Look at these little ripples. I mean, very active pattern. I mean, it's one right after another, after another, after another. And as I mentioned before, what we're getting here is energy that's coming in across the southern part of the United States, and then you get this energy dropping in over the Rockies, in the northern part of the Rockies into western Canada, and you're getting these separate systems, not necessarily phased, but they are working together to provide the amount of moisture that gets pummeled into our area. Now, can you get big snows out of that? Sometimes. Now, this is the projected snow cover. Don't get too excited about where it's placing it, but just get the general idea. We're on the edge of almost every snow event, mainly backlash. All it takes is for us to get one or two of these to go a little more to the south, and you can get a big snow easily, all right? If you want to get a big snow, you want to be on the edge. You don't want to be all the way in the deep cold air because you don't always get a guarantee of that. Patience, snow lovers, patience. This is going to take some time to get this pattern to establish itself. But for the next couple of weeks, we're going to see things repeat themselves over and over again, and a lot of that could be rain.